This whole mess started in France, a powerful, rich country that was secretly cooking up a continent-sized disaster. King Louis XVI sat on the throne, kinda nice, super confused, while the treasury screamed, "I'm broke!" France spent a mountain of cash helping America beat Britain. Nice move. Then the bill came back like group dinner math. Then crops failed, bread got expensive, and people started staring at loaves like they were legendary treasure. France had three groups: the clergy, the nobles, and everybody else carrying the whole bill on their backs. The clergy and nobles had perks. Regular people had taxes, hunger, and the honor of funding everyone's fancy lifestyle. Louis said, maybe rich people should pay taxes. Rich people said, absolutely not. Try literally anything else. So he called the Estates General in 1789, and France opened a door that was about to come off its hinges. The problem was voting. Commoners have more people, but nobles and clergy could outvote them 2 against 1. So the commoners said, we're done playing by your rules, and became the National Assembly. Boom! First major slap. The king locked their meeting room, so they met in a tennis court and swore not to leave without a constitution. Then the king gathered troops around Paris, and everyone went, yeah, that does not look suspicious at all. On July 14th, Paris said, before things get ugly, let's grab weapons, and marched straight to the Bastille. The Bastille was the king's big scary symbol, so the crowd stormed it and basically said, we're not joking anymore. News spread fast. Peasants said, awesome, time to settle old tabs, and burned feudal records across the countryside. The assembly saw the chaos and ditched feudal privileges. Nobles woke up and found their VIP pass had expired. Then came the Declaration of the Rights of Man. Freedom, equality, rights. Great slogan. The rollout got complicated, but bread still did not show up. So Parisian women marched to Versailles and said, bring food or we bring you. They brought the royal family to Paris. The king was finally close to the people, like way too close. Quick recap. The people hated the king feared the people, and nobles were trying not to get wrecked. Louis tried to escape in disguise. His genius plan was traveling slowly in a huge, extremely royal-looking carriage. People caught him in Varennes and sent him back to Paris. Public trust did not just drop, it fell through the floor. Europe saw France falling apart and said, perfect, let's jump in. France soon went to war with Austria and Prussia. War made everything worse. Crowds stormed the Tuileries Palace, and the monarchy heard its countdown timer start beeping. In 1792, the National Convention said, that's it, monarchy's cancelled, and France officially became a republic. Then Louis went on trial for betrayal. The guy who used to be above the law was now waiting on a public verdict. In January 1793, Louis was removed from power for good. No undo button, no patch update. Game over. Then Marie Antoinette followed. The queen became the ultimate symbol of royal excess, and history showed zero mercy. But now the revolution hit turbo mode. Enter Robespierre, a guy who loved virtue but made it extremely scary. Robespierre and the Committee of Public Safety said, there are enemies everywhere. Their solution was lists, lots of lists. The reign of terror began. If people thought you looked suspicious, you could end up in court real fast. Thousands were executed. The government basically said, if you're not with us, you might be against us. Good luck. Robespierre started freaking out even his own allies, because every day he hinted there were more traitors somewhere. His allies said, before he comes for us, we flip the table, and arrested him in a room full of chaos. The next day, Robespierre faced the same fate he had used against others. The revolution had eaten one of its own. After that came the Directory, 5 leaders, tons of problems, and public support hanging on by a thread. Then Napoleon showed up. Young officer, sharp brain, fast moves, and enough ambition to fill all of France. Napoleon won battles and people said, finally, somebody knows what they're doing, which was about to cause new problems. In 1799, Napoleon entered politics like a cannonball, pulled off a coup, and kicked the Directory out the door. And that is how the revolution ended. But France was not calming down, because Napoleon was just getting started.